Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Coming to you today in quarantine chic, they're calling this now. I'm okay with that because I already needed an excuse to come to you live with no makeup on. Although I did shower today, I have to say that's one improvement. Anyway, we are following along this year in 2020 with Sarah Ban Breathnach's book, Simple Abundance. And today is March 21st, and I've got both books today. We're following along this year in her 2019 updated version of Simple Abundance, but I've also got the older version from the 90s, her Daybook of Comfort and Joy, with me today, because I was just comparing the last couple days, and I like her entry from today in the old book about the difference between self-confidence and self-esteem. And I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this as well. Annabelle's sleeping, or she might chime in, I don't know, we'll see. But what do you think the difference is between self-esteem and self-confidence? And do you think that you can have one without the other, or do you think that you need to have both? Or do you think that if you have one, you automatically have the other? There's so many conversations that could be had about this. So I'm just going to read what Sarah says the difference is, and then we can share our thoughts about it together. She says, for me, self-esteem is how we really feel about ourselves in the secret sanctuary of our soul. Do we love, accept, and approve of ourselves unconditionally? Do we believe that we're worthy of love of others and the best that life has to offer? The quality of our self-esteem is very deeply connected to the relationship with our first and most important critics, our parents. If they unconditionally loved, accepted, and approved of us, then we probably do too. But, and then she goes in to say the difference, but self-confidence is a special elixir that Spirit has prepared to help each of us face and surmount the challenges of life. It's an aromatic blend of invigorating essences: attitude, experience, knowledge, wisdom, optimism, and faith. If we were fortunate enough to grow up in loving, supportive homes and our self-esteem is strong, we learned our own homeopathic formula early. If we did not, then we need to learn how to mix our own custom blend. What's important to realize is that self-confidence is available to all of us. So I have a couple of things to say about that. Yes, I definitely believe that self-esteem is deep-rooted in early childhood experiences. And I think when she says that if our parents unconditionally loved, accepted, and approved of us, then we would automatically have it. I have one little caveat with that. I think that your parents could absolutely love you unconditionally, approve of you, all that stuff from their own standpoint. But if you as a person don't perceive it that way, then that can definitely affect your self-esteem. I think it's more about your perception of how they are acting, I think, in terms of that. It's because somebody could be giving their whole full capacity to love you unconditionally, but you might not be. You might somehow think that they don't, or that you could do something and lose it in a second, you know? I don't know, like the human psyche and emotional setup is so complex. I'm not trying to totally analyze that, but that's just one thought that I would say about self-esteem. And then as far as self-confidence goes, I agree with her that it's something that you can learn, and that you can later in the newer book, she talks about how it can be borrowed. And actually, she has a similar entry in tomorrow for the old book as well. But that it's about your attitude and your thoughts, and that you can, I like how she has these like elixir and scent sort of things. In fact, I was thinking, you know how I took you guys on a tour of my office and I had the spray that was peace potion? I bet you could make your own little elixir of confidence spray too, or take your favorite scent and just sort of like rename it for confidence if it's something that you felt would be an intentional way to really give that little squirt, to add to it. Like I'm thinking about that monster spray that a mom took onto Shark Tank. I can't remember if she got a deal or not, but she certainly sold millions of them because it was a spray that moms could use in their kids' bedrooms, and the kids believed that it was going to make the monsters go away. So how great is that? Like, really, if you believe something is going to give you that confidence, then who's to say it's not? In fact, there's a quote in the old book from the founder of Mary Kay Ash. She says, if you think you can, you can. And if you think you can't, you're right. Either way, you're right, right? So it really is a state of mind. Self-confidence is a state of mind. I think self-esteem is more of an emotional thing. What do you think? Really curious to hear your thoughts on this one. So in her new book, she says that self-confidence can't be bought, but it can be borrowed. And I'm not going to read a whole thing from this entry, but she's talking about how, if, for instance, if you're really wanting to have some confidence in your career, that you could get a power suit that just exudes confidence. And even if it's in your closet, it's like you can look at it and just know that, like, yes, that's my power suit, right? So just like spraying yourself with something, or just even playing the part, just acting that you're self-confident. It's something that we can all do. And she said the thing about how attitude, experience, knowledge, wisdom, optimism, and faith. Those are things that as we age, we gain, right? And I would say that the more success you have, that the more your self-confidence can be built. I don't know I guess you could build self-esteem as well. That's more of a therapeutic, really inner child self-healing thing, to go to those deep parts of yourself and your soul and rebuild the self-esteem. But the self-confidence, I'm thinking of things like you could be really confident in your athletic abilities or your career, communications, creativity. You could have a lot of confidence about those things because you have gotten proof of those things. Whereas the self-esteem, how do you go back and relive those early days and the things that you told yourself in your head? If I knew, I'd be a millionaire. Anyway, when you're unsure of yourself, but life requires you to be otherwise, it is comforting to remember that you can always borrow a self-confident attitude from your authentic self. She knows how terrific you are and can give you that little boost, which is all you really need. Our subconscious mind cannot distinguish between what's real and what's imaginary, which is why creative visualization works. If we act as if we're confident, we become so, at least for a little while. Remember my little fantasy journal that I shared with you guys way back in January? It's kind of like that. You could, if you were trying to be really self-confident about something that you want to have more confidence in, you could pretend and script those things out as a story, and your subconscious would be activated if you keep reading that. It's not unlike some of those affirmations. As long as you can really dive into it and help yourself believe it. If you have too many opposing thoughts, it may not work, just like my conversation about my thoughts on affirmations. But you could have fun in a little fantasy journal and build some confidence about some things, I think, in a fun way, with some of those, just scripting out, pre-paving some things that are coming up. Say you're giving a presentation or something and you write about how great it went. Let's see. When life challenges you, when life challenges arise, you can surmount them by calling on spirit and borrowing the scent of self-confidence from your authentic self. Again, there it is with the scent. That would be a great activity to make a little self-confidence, authentic self spray. I like that. Hope you're having a relaxing Saturday and taking a pause from all the chaos in the world. I hope you're staying well. I am still monitoring some chest pressure here, but feeling optimistic that I am going to be okay. If anything changes with that and I have to seek care, I will keep you guys posted on the channel. I hope that you will keep me posted on how you're doing. It's great to stay connected. I was just invited also tomorrow to a Zoom little brunch with a whole bunch of friends, which I love these things that are cropping up. And I love that I have time to do them. In fact, I was watching the birds today. I have not had time to sit and watch them. So I've been really looking for the blessings in our crazy circumstances that we have here. And I hope that you're doing the same. And I hope that simple abundance is something that you can give some time to in the coming days and weeks, because we really need it more than ever. Our lives are actually going to be becoming a lot, well, I don't know if I should say they're becoming more simple, but we may be learning to live with more simplicity. And we need to remember now more than anything that there's an abundance of a lot of things, even though the media is telling us there's a scarcity of most everything that is important right now. But if we can hold on to the principles, joy, harmony, beauty, order, simplicity, and gratitude, then we will be still on our spiritual path, and whatever happens, happens. That's how we're going to have to be operating right now. Thanks again for being here. Love you all, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.